Hello guys, what is up? Um, so I got my first solo win in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds today, which was interesting. You can see me here shooting at the guy. I've got one bullet left. I've removed the game audio and replaced it with my sexy voice and some music, only because, everyone gets annoyed by the clacking of my mechanical keyboard. That's alright. You can see me here trying to bunny hop away from the guy shooting at me. Uh, yeah. So, this is probably one of the first games I've primarily used the Vector, which is so incredibly overpowered. I didn't have a great start to this game. I sort of parachuted into Villas, if anyone knows where that is. It's to the north of the warehouse area / the Crater of Doom. So you can see me here. I'm coming over the hill, looking left and right, which is a very, very good habit for a player on Battlegrounds. And you can see I've just shot this guy. Burst firing with the Vector is definitely the way to go. The zone's moving in on me as well, so it's not like I have that much time to loot. Here I am, not able to find the body because, I'm blind. So I take... Do I take anything? I take his 45 ammo. Hope this commentary isn't too boring already. So I get up and I get going. I'm not sure if anyone has noticed, but I've gotten a new microphone. It's a Blue Snowball. I like it very much. It's a lot better than my old headset mic, which I think was literally glued on to a headset after it was manufactured, to be honest. My old headset was a Razer Tiamat 7.1, which is great if you want to listen around for positional audio, but it's not so great when you want to listen to music or talk with some friends because it's got a pretty bad microphone, and honestly, the sound quality is kind of muddled on that thing, but the proper adjustments being made. So, what else can I talk about? Oh yes, well, obviously you can see I've gotten into PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but I'd like to do more regular uploads. For instance, the video last week, that was last week, Winner Winner Chicken Dinner, where I got my first win, but that was in a duos match, and this is solos, so that's primarily what we're showcasing today. Here I am, thinking the crowbar was actually a gun for a second, and I found a buggy to get way south to the zone, which I'm pretty sure it is. I'm also having some difficulty, it would seem, moving it around. You can also see here, just now, that the footage is seized up. As far as I know, it's an issue with shadow play. Honestly, I've tried recording to my hard drive, to my SSD. I've tried recording the temp files and the save recordings on different drives. Honestly, I don't think there's any way to fix it. I've lowered the bitrate, I've lowered the resolution. Normally, I record at 4K. This game is actually running at 4K on my PC at the time of playing. However, as of recording, it gets downsampled to 1080p at a bitrate of, I believe, 40 to 50 megabits per second. Which is still not that bad, but I'd much prefer higher bit rates, and if I ever get another SSD, I will certainly use that primarily as a recording drive for high bitrate footage, which I think should look pretty schmexy, if you don't ask. I'm also a terrible driver if you haven't just seen me smack into the front of that Ural. Here I am doing some looting, and the footage is frozen again. I'm not sure how much of this commentary I'll probably keep in the video. More 45 ammo for my Vector, don't mind if I do. The footage freeze. It's rather annoying sometimes because there are some really, really nice headshots I get in game that coincidentally end up happening right as that freezes, so all you hear is the audio of me firing, and you just see the kill message thereafter. You don't actually see the kill, which is tremendously frustrating. And to be honest, I don't want to switch over to software like DX Story or Fraps to record, to be honest, because a lot of the time, if I go out, I start the day like, oh, hey, let's record something. It ends up that I do terrible at that game, and I end up getting absolutely no footage. However, with Shadowplay running in the background, I can play as I normally do, and if I so happen to another footage freeze, get decent clips, I can save it retroactively to the hard drive. I used to use Plays TV for this before I had an NVIDIA graphics card. For those of you who don't know, I used to have a AMD Radeon R9 295X2. That's an interesting graphics card right there. Pulled about 800 watts from the wall, just the graphics card, not the rest of the system. It was dual GPU, it was liquid cooled, and it was one of the first cards to have 8 gigs of VRAM. I'm pretty sure the NVIDIA, the original Titan and the Titan Black, might have had 8 gigs. I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but one of the first cards to have 8 gig, well, it was 2 4 gig GPUs on one card, so, I mean, yeah, there's that. But it was definitely a decent card and was one of the first, like, purpose-built 4K gaming cards, and this was the time 4K gaming was just becoming a thing, so I bought my system, bought that graphics card. Terrible decision, by the way. I should have just gone for, 2 R9 290Xs, or for that matter, I should have gone 2 980s in SLI. But, however, what happened. I bought the card I did. Tremendously horrid drivers, to be honest. Like, Crossfire support back then. I'm not sure if it's improved since, because I haven't had an AMD graphics card in the better part of the last 2 years. But I now have a GTX 1080, and that does plenty fine. It's about 30% faster for, like, maybe close to a third of the power draw. And I've just killed this guy here, who was hiding in this hut. I saw him earlier. I'm not sure if you noticed in the footage, but you can always go back and look at that. Anyway, he had a butt ton of attachments on him. Gotta heal up to make sure I'm ready for the next gunfight. Anyway, enough of computer hardware, for those who haven't come here for that. What have I been up to lately? I'm playing a lot of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with one of my friends, Warhog. I just know him as Desmond. You probably know him as Desmond. Where has my other partner in crime been? SGFU. He doesn't have a computer at the moment, so the poor guy can only run Roblox. Can't even run CSGO. And the footage is just seized up. I'm sure you're not missing anything important. I hope you're not missing anything important. So, here I am, just hugging the edge of the zone. Here's where my commentary is going to get a little bit more interesting because it's getting more intensive. I see the car across the way. One very, very good strategy is, if you got a very good close quarter weapon, is lurk on the very outer edges of the zone. Mind you, to keep your back to the zone. People can still come from there, but periodic checks. And just sweep the outside, and once the outside's clear, you push in. Here I am trying to find a little bit of decent cover. There's 14 left alive at this point, so what I'm thinking is that I definitely don't want to go anywhere near those buildings. I'm going to avoid them like the plague. So even though I have the Vector, I do not trust myself in close quarters combat. Especially when there's a possibility of someone camping. And it's at this point I think I hear shots when I'm hiding in this bush. So the zone just moved up, and it's pretty much right on my butt. So I am going to find a nice spot to camp. So actually, well, and the footage gets really choppy. I really do apologize for that, but in the meantime, I've noticed this guy on that cliff. Oh boy. Yeah. So, tag him a little bit, try to get a better position on him. Nothing really going on at this point, interesting. I've only got 3 kills up until now. I'm trying to get a visual on this guy. I have no idea where he's gone, so I think it's safe to say he's moved on. So anyway, I've given up hope on this guy. I'm pretty sure he's moved on. I'm pushing into the zone right now because I'm pretty confident that there's not going to be that many people behind me. So one good thing is that if you can find hills like this that have a lot of like dimples in them, I want to say, these little like narrow areas where if you go prone in them, you're pretty much only exposed from one or two sides. These are pretty good cover to stay in. So here I am, just scouting around. And I've spotted this guy behind me. I think I may have heard of his footsteps. I'm recording this voiceover about 2 days after I actually got this gameplay. So I decided to loot the guy. I don't really think there was anything useful on him. If I recall correctly, I took some 7.62 for whatever reason, despite the fact I have a scar and a vector, neither of which being 7.62 weapons. And you can see this, how terrible this guy was in spray. Oh yeah, one thing to note about this game is that as soon as you pretty much buy it and boot up to the main menu, you pretty much have mouse acceleration enabled by default. Now, you'd think going to the settings you could adjust this with your sensitivity, but there's just always an inherent mouse acceleration, and the way to fix that is that you go into one of the game's INI files under app data local, and you, since it's Unreal Engine, you can give it certain parameters, and one of the parameters is B enable mouse acceleration, or some option like that. Anyway, because a lot of the time I notice people hesitate as they start to take aim at me, and I realize I'm one of the few people who actually know how to disable mouse acceleration in this game. So I'm pretty sure the guy behind me, yeah, he hasn't seen me, so I just pop up, dump however so many rounds of vector into him. It's really laggy, this game, so you can see it dump the mag, and then he proceeded to drop down. So here I am, thinking, oh, I might be able to loot him. But the zone's kind of chopping forward, as you can see right there, and I really don't get that much time to loot as I got tickled by the zone. The little force field that pushes everything into the center of the map, or, I mean, to randomly selected area. See, I'm not sure how this works because I'm getting hurt by the zone again. In H1Z1, it was sort of a Fibonacci spiral, if anyone knows what that is. It's sort of the map where would spiral inwards, sort of how the circle it was. We thought it was random distribution, turns out it wasn't. At least I don't think it was. This game, it feels a lot more random in its placement of the safe zone. So I know I can't go to that building on the left because that's probably suicide. There's probably people camping inside. I know I can probably clear out this hut up ahead because it's just on the very fringe of the zone, and if there's anyone inside, I can just chuck a grenade through those small little slits of windows. Airdrop crate towards that building over there. I know that's probably way too risky. This late in the game, people are likely to camp those. It's at this point I see the guy on the hill just to my southeast, I want to say it is. I looped this anyway, and I realized I'm getting tickled by the zone as well. And you can see me pretty much lagging and bouncing around. There's the guy on the hill right about there. This is about the time I notice him, yeah, so this is where I get covered behind this tower. It's also at this point I see that guy in the guard tower to my left. Fire a couple shots. I didn't really get a good angle, so I reloaded. Now here I am, just waiting for him to rush me. And obviously, you know, Vector OP didn't even hit a single shot on me. To this point I'm at 6 kills, and I realize there's 6 people alive, so this is where I start getting hopeful. That was the guy I spotted up on the hill earlier, and you can see pretty much with the ping, you kind of quantum teleport around everywhere, and it's really annoying. Here's a good spot to hide, because you can really only be shot from one angle, and that's from your front left. But yeah, this guy pops a smoke grenade for some reason. He's still in the zone, so I know that he has to come out from behind that rock. So, yeah, pretty much I knew he'd had to peek, so just wait for him and dump the mag into him. I also see a guy at some point across the field right there. And I take quite a bit of damage. I peek back, like, pretty much I got the kill as I got into cover, which you can see how laggy this is. So the killing blow happened when I was peeking out to the right, and it only just now gave me the kill message as I got back into cover. So At this point, I realize there's one alive, and I have no idea where he is. So I'm wondering if I can wait him out, because I'm on the very edge of the zone. However, the force field's going to force me a little bit forward. So I see that little ridge line just by the little hut up ahead, and I realize, oh, that's excellent cover, because you can only be shot from the one side if you're crouched or prone behind that. So this being the last guy, I'm getting, excited. I pull out the vector. He's right there. And in a second, I'm going to cut to the in-game audio so you can hear my reaction. Oh! Yes, that feels good.